here and it's kind of interfering with our internet, but I'm sure will get me back as soon as possible. So today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between intuition and your psychic abilities. Okay, people have been asking that question to me. There's not much difference between the two. Our intuition speaks to us. It's that little voice in our head. It's the hunch. It's a gut feeling. It's making a last minute cancellation because it just doesn't feel right. But we have to be open to listening to these signs that the universe is giving to us. Our psychic ability is no different than our intuition. Okay? So when we're looking at the two, when somebody is more psychic than the next person, it's because we're in tune with our intuition, which means we are truly listening to it. We are honing it in. We are practicing it. So we'll meditate and we'll ask for our guidance. We'll ask for our signs and our symbols. And then we will proceed to verify that we are correct. Okay? So when we're doing our psychic, it's more direct and conscious, refined art. So you really have to pay attention to it. Okay? So you really gotta get specific. And then you have to be willing to be open to receive the signs and symbols. All right? Psychic abilities are no different than a musician or an athlete. Everybody has to practice to make perfect. Some are naturally just gifted and it just comes to them automatically and with ease. And then there's others where we've got to work to hone it in and to become good at something. I don't believe in anything as failure because when we do stuff, we're always learning what works and what doesn't work. So you got to be easy on yourself and you've got to not be so hard when things don't go the way you expect them to go. All right. So today when I was doing my cards for everyone watching, let's see if I can bring this up. We got the care and compassion card. Okay. So in that card, we have to do what's right for everybody that's involved in any situation that we're involved in. Okay. And everyone, we have to give or offer a helping hand. So help our neighbors, do a good deed for the day, do a good deed for the week. If more people do this in the world, we will start seeing the shift in people's energies and people's way of looking at things in life. Okay? So it's just a matter of do unto others as you wish done unto you. And that's a golden rule. I mean, if you wouldn't like it happening to you, then why would you do it to someone else? It just doesn't make sense. Okay? I see we have our first caller, Wendy. Are you there?
I am here.
Hi, Wendy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I pulled your card today as well, which is the call to action card. Okay. So with this card, it's a card of taking charge, leading by example, walking the. So this card tells me that you're a person who is a natural born leader, where people will automatically follow you. They go to you for guidance and information. Is that
That is correct.
Hello, Wendy? Oh, that is correct.
Hello, I'm
Okay,
here.
I thought I lost you there.
That
for a
is
few
correct.
minutes. Okay. Okay. So, Wendy, do you have a question or did you just want me to go into general for you?
Well, I have a question. Will I meet my significant other soon?
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, that's coming within the next 2 years. Okay. Um,
Okay.
I just need you to stop looking.
Okay.
Okay. You want, how do I say it? When we want something bad and we continually look for it, it takes that much longer for it to come to us. Okay. It's just the
Okay.
way the law of attraction works. So just think that you order a parcel and you're continually watching the delivery person. Are they bringing it? Are they bringing it? And it's no, it's not coming. It's out for delivery. It's not here. And the minute you go to the washroom or the minute you go to the neighbor's house, the parcel shows up. Okay. So it's the same thing
Okay.
when we're looking for something in our life, whether it be a partner, whether it be a job. The more we put energy into the fact that we're looking for it and we don't have it, the longer it takes for it to come because we're attracting in more of what we don't want or don't have.
Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, I'm just playing and I'm trying to see within the next 2 years, possibly, which you could be looking at. I'm looking more into spring. Okay. Like they're giving me more of a spring feeling for when you're going to meet. And you're going to meet him very unexpectedly. Like you're going to be maybe out digging in the dirt and completely out of sorts. And he's just going to show up and you're going to be like, oh, okay. So,
that that makes sense.
let's see. Okay. He's going to be kind of tall, with short, dark hair. Okay. I
Okay.
know that's not the type of the guy that you're used to or would like, but that's the type that's going to be coming. Okay.
Okay.
He's going to kind of challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. Okay. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Okay. That does make sense. Yes.
Yeah. Because right now you're kind of, and I don't mean this as an insulting way, but it's the best way for me to explain it because I'm a farm girl, is animals will always follow the same path. Okay. So they'll always go down the same path to eat. They'll always go down to the same path to drink, and they're always pick the same stall. So it's like you're
Uh-huh.
stuck in a rut. You're doing the same thing over and over. You're going to the same places over and over. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You have to shake some things up.
Okay.
Okay. You need to start going out of your norm. So if you're used to getting out of bed on the right side of the bed and you're able to get out of bed on the left side, start getting up on the left side.
Okay.
And if you continually go to a Starbucks, go to a McDonald's.
Okay.
So you can meet this guy, okay? And he's really
Okay.
going to make a big difference in your life. He's going
Okay.
to be, it's almost like you guys are going to do a lot of traveling. Do you like doing sports?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They're showing me like you're going to be doing a lot of that stuff together. Because in
Cool.
the past, some
Okay.
of the guys you've dated weren't very, I don't want to say sportsy, but they weren't too interested. If the sports were there, they'd watch it,
Uh-huh.
but they weren't interested in playing sports or getting active, which you are. And this gentleman that's coming into your life will be very active. So you
Good.
better get in shape, girl.
Yes, that
Okay.
makes perfect sense.
Okay. Okay. Who in the family? Okay, this has got to be on the other side. Who in the family on the other side died of a heart attack?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Yes.
Was she kind of mid height? And when I say mid
Yes.
height, it's around 5'7".
I'm sorry.
Was she around 5 feet, between 5 feet and 5'7"? Know that she's with you, and she is the one who's bringing you this gentleman. So he's approved by Granny. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
Yes. I would like
Okay. What?
to know a time frame where I will be reunited with my children.
I want to say this delicately, but it's hard to say over for the whole world to hear here. Okay. There's stuff that you're going to need to do kind of in your life. Okay. Before you're going to have that correction of them being back in your life. Does that make sense to you?
It does make sense, but I don't know what those corrections are.
Okay. Okay. On this one, could you just email me, please? At Cosmic Earth Angel.
Wait a minute here. I need to get a pen.
Yeah. I'll let you get a pen.
What is your
Cosmic
email?
Earth Angel. Cosmic Earth Angel.
Okay.
So please contact me, and I can give you some one-on-one guidance on this, okay? I just don't feel it should be put on the air, all right? But know that you have your grandma with you, okay? She's with you at all times. When you drive, she wants you to slow down because you kind of speed a lot, okay? So she wants you to kind of slow down, okay? All right?
Yes.
Okay. Everyone, sorry about that. I just, we've got a nasty storm here, and I keep losing connection. So let's just go into our next card here, which I'll just pull for you, which is the Awakening and Presence card. Okay. So with this card, the universe is telling us that we are in a cloak of protection and love from the universe. So know that as gifted people, which we all are in the universe, that we need to call in on Archangel Michael. We need to call in on our white light to protect ourselves in these times. Know that if you're starting to have like a bad day, just check in with yourself to see if this is truly belonging to you or if it's belonging to the universe, the rest of the people's energy in the world. Okay. So let's just say that you wake up one morning and you are in complete excellent mood. You're happy, you're singing, and within seconds you're feeling sad and angry. Know that that doesn't belong to you. Okay. So know that you haven't protected yourself quite as well as you should have when you got up in the morning. Say what you're grateful for every day so you can start drawing in the good energy, the positive energy, and more of what you want. And ask for that protection. Ask for Archangel Michael to come in to protect you. Ask for the white light. Imagine a white light just emanating around you to protect yourself from the energies in the world that are not so polite. I call them stinky energy. I call it negative energy. And so many people in the world don't realize that a lot of their bad is just that. It's stinky energy that they've collected along along the way. And we help other people. Sometimes just by standing by somebody and being silent is very helpful to them. So know that when we do that, we are absorbing the negative energy from these people, which is why when they leave us, they feel so much better. But we've absorbed that energy. And if we don't correctly put that energy back into the universe or back into the earth, and we keep that energy, that's when we start getting negative. That's when we start getting illnesses that no matter how many tests the doctors run or no matter what they're looking for, they cannot find an illness or what's wrong with us. That's because it doesn't belong to us. And we have to learn a healer always needs a healer. Okay? So we need to heal ourselves and we need to let others heal us as well. Okay? So I want to use an example of this week. We had a gathering with a bunch of people, and some of the people there needed healing. Okay? They're going through a rough time, and their emotions were starting to get the better of them, and they felt like they had to take these emotions and just bury them and push them down. And I was trying to explain that no, if you're sad, you must cry. Like if you're angry, you have to let those emotions out. Okay? That's a way of healing. And the best way to heal is by letting other people help us. Okay? Now, if you're the other person helping them, sometimes just being silent and just being beside them and just holding their hand is all they need to feel better. A lot of the times they're not looking for us to tell them how to get better. They're not looking for us to explain things to them or tell them it gets better with time. All they want to know is somebody's next to them and just have that calming energy just surrounding them, imagining a white light around them. That's more healing to a lot of people than giving directions and orders and telling them what they need to do. Okay? Oh man, I'm getting a lot of downloads. Okay. So as a unit, as a group of people, the universe wants us to start being kinder, more loving, and spreading positive energies to each other. Okay? I'm hoping this is making sense because I'm just getting the information and spitting it out to you guys. They want us to lead by example. Okay? They want us to teach the generations coming up about the positive energies in life, the good things, being grateful that you have a roof over your head and you have food in your stomach and you have a loving family, and teaching them to be kind to everyone around them because that's what makes the difference. Okay? So hopefully with us teaching the younger generation this, we can turn around and start eliminating bullies in the world. Okay? With school starting, this is going to be a big problem. Like they're telling me that bullying is going to be a big issue this year. There's going to be a lot of lost children in society, not understanding what's going on or why it's going on. And as adults, as the elders of society, the universe wants us to start teaching these children kindness, unconditional love, compassion, and understanding. That a child who may be bullying them may be being bullied at home or may not have the life that it appears to be having. Okay. A lot of kids that don't understand the compassion, the understanding, and the unconditional love is a child that may not be receiving it and understand the difference between, to them, that's the norm. That's what's happening at home for them. Some children may be just angry because they don't have food and they see other children have food and they're just not understanding what's going on, why they're not getting what all these other children are having. So we must work towards understanding and teaching our generations to come that you have to look at the other side of the story. That just because it looks one way and appears to be that way doesn't necessarily mean that that's true.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and thanks for watching Moonstruck. And now back to A1R on the air, Psychic Talk Radio now on Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. How is everyone doing this week? Oh my gosh, it's been a really crazy week for me. I don't know how it's been for you, but things have just been really wild and crazy. We just came off of that super moon, and I'm telling you, I was feeling the energy of that way before it even happened. And that moon this time around was really making us dig deep into our personal lives. We were reevaluating our relationships. We were reevaluating our jobs, our careers, our home lives, everything that encompassed all of that. And it was big, big, big energy. And I can tell you that a couple of weeks ago, I had a really tough weekend. And, I think that people who are spiritual, we forget we are human and that we can have, what I will call spiritual meltdowns, right? You go into these really dark places that you don't want to go, that you don't feel good being in. But by the time you go through all of that and you say, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm done, whatever, you come out on the other side and you have somehow a renewed purpose and spirit. And so that's, I want to remind everybody, because there are a lot of healers, there's a lot of intuitives and spiritual mediums and psychics out there, all of us lumped in together. And sometimes we forget that we still have to go through those emotions. And it's tough for us because we're always supposed to be, taking care of ourselves and vibrating at a high level. And, sometimes you can't do it. You just literally can't do it. And that's kind of where I found myself a couple of weeks ago. So took a little time. I even took a couple of sick days from work and just kind of sat and was able to reevaluate some of the things that I was actually going through. And, you've listened to my show in the past, I talked about how important it is to keep your vibration high and how you can manifest all this great stuff in your life. But let me tell you, getting mad, the energy of them being mad and upset about your life or whatever is going on can be just as powerful as the positive side of manifesting. You get to a point where you're like, I'm done. It's over. I'm not doing this anymore. I give up. White flag. I surrender. Spirit, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this work. You get to that place, and then it's really powerful. It sends a message out to the universe of saying, okay, this is a call out and let's change this up. And so when you do that, then you're able to kind of come back around and then bring all the good stuff back into your life. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm reevaluating things. I'm looking at things with a new eye, with a new sense of being. And, so that's really what took place for me 2 weekends ago, and then through this full moon. And then a couple of days ago, I really felt the shift. I felt a shift in the energy. It was lighter. It was more energetic. Yesterday was a really heightened day of intuitiveness. And, if you really sat and looked around, if you saw my post, what I posted yesterday, that if you look around, that you would find that your, some of your loved ones were sending you messages, and without even thinking about it. I mean, you could intuitively feel what those messages were. I explained it like it was your intuitive gut is like a good cup of coffee with a friend, sitting down and having that conversation. And that's really what it was, that energy that shifted, it brought us into that place of, okay, I'm reevaluating and sitting down and having this cup of coffee with my friend, and we're talking about it, and I feel so much better. I feel so much relief. So just for everybody out there, you are still human. It's okay to have those really, really bad days, bad weekends, and it's okay to let yourself have that space, because in order to bring us back around to where we need to be, that's really what we need to do, is we need to get into that really uncomfortable space, and that's where all the growth really, really happens, when you find yourself in that very uncomfortable space. So looking forward to some really great things to come out of this and come up. So just so that if you find yourself in that space, try not to be hard on yourself. Roll through it, go through it, find someone to have that cup of coffee with and talk about what's going on, and then rally up and start again. Because great things, it's like the phoenix rising out of the fire. Great things will happen and will come forth through all of that. So anyway, hope that helps all of you out there who may be having some of those similar things that I've been going through as well. But what I'd like to do right now is go to the phone lines. And we have Lynn in North Dakota. Good evening, Lynn.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right.
Good.
Very
Good.
thankful for your time.
Oh, you are so welcome. What can we help you with this evening?
I am wondering if you see any of my family around me. I've suffered great loss lately, and just want to know if you pick up anything or any significance of things that have happened since then, or anything along those lines.
Okay. Well, immediately what I'm feeling is I can feel like the static energy around you. It's like there's been lots of movement, lots of change, lots of I don't know how to explain it other than like this static energy. It's like zapping, and what they're showing me right now is yes, there has been a lot of loss with you and with your family, and know that this is it's not going to continue on. I know sometimes you feel like, oh my gosh, there's been 1, 2, 3, now what's going to happen next? And so there's always that feeling of that discord of like you're just waiting for the phone to ring kind of feeling. And so I'm here to let you know that your family says that that is now behind you. Now you have to really take that time to do the grieving, because you really haven't had that chance. It's like you haven't been able to catch your breath.
Right.
And so they're asking you to take some time for yourself to do that grieving that you need to do.
Do you see anybody in particular around me?
Well, you have a couple people around you. Hang on just a minute. Let me see what I can tune into here. There's a father or a father figure that is coming through very, very heavily.
Yep. That's correct.
Let me see. Hang on one moment. Okay, so oh wow, he's a very gentle soul. He's just so kind, and his energy is so relaxed and so gentle.
Yep.
It's like he's got his hands clasped together in front of him, almost bowing his head, and he's saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I'm putting you through this. And he wants you to know that he's no longer suffering. He's no longer in pain. He's saying he really did not want to leave you the way that he did. Things happened way too fast. And he's just saying that he is beside you. He's beside you all the time. And he just wants you to know that he's really sorry and he loves you so very much.
And that was my father figure?
Yes. He's saying that it's okay for you to be mad. He says it's okay. You have to grieve in your own way. And he says you're not allowing yourself that.
Yeah.
There's also a female figure coming through. Did you have an aunt that was that you felt like was more like a mother than your mother?
No.
Okay. Okay. She's indicating to me that it's an aunt. That you guys had a very close relationship. Similar to like a mother-daughter relationship.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. My Aunt Randa.
Okay. she has a cute little personality.
Yeah. She was a hot mess. She really was.
But she's a very dear, sweet person, very humble.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me see. She's telling me something here. One moment. Let me see if I can get it translated. She keeps saying that, oh, honey, you need to look out for yourself.
Yep.
She
this
says,
last year has been really, really rough.
Yeah. She says, you need to be taking care of yourself. You're taking care of everybody else, and which is great, and which is very noble. But you have to remember that you have to put yourself first sometimes in order to help others, right? And if you are not well and you are not at your tip-top shape, then you really can't be service to others.
Right.
And that's what she's saying right now, that, you know, she's showing me like a lot of running around, like she's showing me someone running around a tree trunk, right? Kind of running around in circles. And she's just saying that you need to get off of that merry-go-round.
Gotcha.
And really take a look at you. What is it that you need, that you require? You know, do you need that time? You know, she's asking things like, you know, do you need that time to read a book? Do you need to be out in nature more? She says there's things that you need to really seriously look at for yourself.
Okay. I will definitely do that. Is there a younger male anywhere around me?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is there a younger male anywhere around me?
You know, I can see him kind of off in the distance, but he is not stepping forward. So when I do readings, it's usually the ones who have the strongest, most prominent the dominant energy, right? So I can kind of see him standing off in the back, but he is not stepping forward. His energy is a little bit lighter, a little bit weaker, and so I'm having trouble kind of reading it.
Okay.
There's something to do with cars. Is there some type of a relationship between him and cars? Like,
oh yeah.
Did he work on cars?
Oh, yes.
Or okay. Because he's showing me cars. And he's showing me a great big heart, which means love.
I've got a heart necklace on right now too.
Okay. Did he give you that necklace?
It was given to me after his passing.
Okay. So the heart shape that I'm seeing is in reference to that necklace. Has he been gone very long?
Not very long. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because he's showing me that too. And another reason why I ask is, like I said, because his energy is a lot lower, which is indicating to me that he's getting ready to go into like a rest period. So
Right.
after we leave our bodies, we need some time to adjust to not having a physical body anymore. And so
Right.
sometimes we can go and it's it it'll take a couple of weeks, a couple of months. It just kind of depends on that soul.
Right.
And so he's indicating to me that he's going into that transition period. But he is very much around you.
Good.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's very good.
Is there he's showing me car symbols like a Trans Am or like some type of a sports car, like that. Was he a sports car fanatic?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
He had a Camaro.
Oh, okay. Trans Am, Camaro. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What happened to that car?
I thought, did he sell that? Didn't he sell that car? He sold it.
Oh, he sold it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's showing me that car was very, very near and dear to his heart.
Oh yeah.
And I was almost getting the feeling that maybe he had willed it or had given it to somebody within the family or maybe a friend, because it's almost like feeling like where that car went. So
Right. He did do that with his truck.
okay.
So that's probably what and I do believe it was a blue truck too.
Okay. Did you have another specific question?
I just want to know that he's okay. Because
Yes,
he was
he
a very
is.
troubled soul here.
Yes, he is. He's very much okay. He says you need not worry, that he is so much better where he's at now. And he's showing me that heart shape again.
That heart shape you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He just keeps
Well,
referring back
to
to that heart shape.
I love him and I miss him every single minute of every single day.
Yeah. So he'll probably be gone for just a little while, but I'm getting that once he comes back after he's done with his rest period, I start looking around for signs and symbols that he's around, because I think he's going to be very visible to you when he comes back.
I have a thing where monarch butterflies flutter around me a lot. And I mean, they'll come and they'll circle right in front of me and then they'll just go off. And then I'll see another one and it'll do the same thing. It'll come and just make a couple of circles in front of me and then fly off.
Yeah,
I don't know if that has any significance whatsoever, but it's just, I've always taken it as a sign because of the way he left this earth. It just, he committed suicide, so it was pretty traumatic.
Mm-hmm. He was a very free spirit, wasn't he?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So,
yes.
so he, when you were talking about the butterfly, he was smiling at me and nodding his head. So he's sending you these little messages. The butterfly signifying his free will, his free spirit. And so you're going to automatically be drawn to butterflies, and you're going to take note of them more often. And so just know that when you are doing that, that you can smile and say, hi, I know you're there. Thank you. Because he's sending those along to you.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It is crazy that you knew that. So.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Yeah.
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 You know,
He said he wasn't quite. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just said he's indicating to me that he wasn't quite ready for his time here on Earth. He didn't quite get the full realization of why he was here. And he sees now that he understands now what his purpose was and what he was there for. But yeah, he said he just didn't fully understand it at the time when he was here.
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah. Yeah. He said he's really sorry. He put a lot of people through some really tough times, and he feels really bad about that.
I forgive him.
Yeah.
I've had to, because it made me crazy. It's been the hardest year and a half of my life.
Yeah. And he's saying he's sorry for that. He really is.
It just misses so much. It's like, he thinks that he's just going to walk in the door, you know?
Yeah.
But I know it's not going to happen. So it's hard to shut that part of the mom brain off, you know?
Right.
Oh.
Right. Right. So yeah,
thank you.
You need some time in there to kind of just to grieve and to be okay with where you are in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. No.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
So
you
Lynn,
so
we are
much.
coming. You are so very welcome. We are coming down to the last few seconds of our show here. So I want to say thank you so much for calling in, and I hope this helped.
It definitely does. I greatly appreciate you, and I pray blessings all around you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, Lynn. God bless.
You too. God bless.
Well, that does it for us this evening, another Thursday night. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. If you would like to reach out to me, I have classes and I have some open reading spaces that have just opened up. You can catch me over on my website at www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com or reach me on my Facebook page, Julie Yeager Medium, Julie Yeager Walk for Medium, and Your Time to Shine. Have a great night, everyone.
At A1R Psychic Radio, we know you lead a busy life. That's why we've assembled Earth's top psychic TV and radio hosts in one location. Psychics, mediums, astrologers, tarot practitioners. Your premium encounter with our hosts is free when it's done on the air or on our TV station, Moonstruck TV. Our hosts are all light workers with hearts of gold. Our audience is global. It's no wonder we're live with free readings 3 times a week. That's right, all psychic and medium readings, along with astrology and tarot advice, 100% free. And with A1R, you can know we critically screen all of our hosts. They're all 100% of the light, no scammers. Join us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for a truly mind-blowing experience. You're always welcome here. We love our listeners. Anyone can ask anything. Love, life, career, family, and more. It's your reading. Ask your question. Our hosts truly care and can't wait to help you. Earth's top psychics host shows on A1R Psychic Radio. Why? Because the audience is first, and they know it. With love, we welcome you. This is A1R Psychic Radio.
Welcome to A1R Psychic Radio here on Moonstruck TV with Amanda Hall, psychic all the way from the Gold Coast. Hope you're having an absolutely fantastic week wherever you are in this globe of ours. I know here in Australia we've had an interesting week politically, and I'm sure a lot of other nations around the world have had the same thing. It's been a week of, controversy and people telling lies and people sort of jockeying for positions. But anyway, let's kick the show off in a different sort of direction with the Simply Tarot card of the week. This is one of the cards that a lot of students struggle with when they first take up the tarot, because it's the card of the devil. And the devil conjures up, I suppose, lots of different meanings for all of us, whether you're religious or not. It has a sort of an unusual sort of connotation for most people. But my belief of the devil card is jealousy and trouble. You are able to break the chains that are holding you back. So when you look very closely at the devil card, you can see he's loosely got some chains around the necks of the 2 people standing below us. And they are able to remove those chains or break those restrictions that might be holding them back in their lives. And I think there's many times in our lives where we sort of self-impose the restrictions that are placed on ourselves. We put them there ourselves because maybe it's fear, maybe we're not ready to take that step, or maybe we just don't know how. So if you feel a little bit this way this week, I want you to try and sort of think outside your comfort zone, think outside the box and see if you can find a way to break it up, that you can move or remove those restrictions that may be holding you back in your life. I know for me that, sometimes in this colder weather, I find it difficult to sort of get motivated to move because I'm such a summer person. I like the warmth and sort of, the restrictions of not too many clothes on and things like that. So this card's very apt for me at the moment, that I've got to motivate myself to get up out of the chair and move and do a few things in life at the moment, because I don't want to, because it's so cold. So whatever your restrictions may be, maybe this is the week that we can turn all that around. So moving right along, astrologically this week, we've still got quite a big emphasis on, 4 planets sitting in Leo. So when we've got 4 planets sitting in Leo, including the sun, it means that the focus is on being on the stage. So whether that's you or whether it's people around you or just people in political arenas and people that are famous that want to sort of get in the limelight, that want us to pay attention to what they've got to say. But on a more personal level, it's the time when I think that there could be some quite heated discussions coming up in your inner circle where, people are sort of trying to put across what they see as in a gentle but forthright manner, what they need to sort of say, and they want to be heard. It's like they want to be centre of their universe or on the centre stage in their lives. There's nothing wrong with that. What I will say to you, though, is be careful at how you approach this. Make sure that you're being truthful. Make sure that you're not exaggerating or embellishing your position or what you feel should be the outcome out of the situation. The reasons I'm suggesting that is we've got the planet of communication, Mercury, that we talk about quite often on the show. He's making an absolutely amazing, lovely aspect to the planet Jupiter in Sagittarius, which in astrological terms is known as a trine, or it's an easy
easy configuration or an easy transit. So we have this opportunity then with communication to run away with ourselves a little bit, because it's making this beautiful trine to Jupiter in Sagittarius, where Jupiter is about expansion and opportunity, but it's also about truth. But sometimes in that quest to sort of get our voice heard and to get our point across, we might embellish or stretch the truth a little bit, make it sound a little bit better than what it is. Gee, have you heard a few people do that recently in the political arena? I know I have here in Australia, and I've been watching, world events, and they all seem to be in the same club at the moment. But going back to the 3 other planets that are sitting in Leo at the moment, we've got Venus, Mars, and the Sun, all literally holding hands, or what's known as a conjunction in astrological circles, that they are holding hands, they are making a difference at the moment. And this is why the emphasis this week is on communication, getting our voice heard, but let's do it in a forthright but a dynamic sort of way. Let's not be pushy or bossy or jockeying for position. Let's do it with, poise and grace and ease, and do it in a loving sort of way. And, we can still get our point across. And that takes me on to our famous person of the week this week. Even though we're working with the female sign of Virgo and we're looking at actresses this week, I'm really pleased to say that we're working with one of the world's most beautiful women, and I think she will always be known as this, long past when she fades away, which she's still with us, I might say, and that's the one and only Sophia Loren. I mean, what a gorgeous woman. I mean, a woman that epitomises everything that the female energy has to share with us. Not only is she drop dead gorgeous, but she is so strong and dynamic, and she's been an amazing role model for women all around the world. And Sophia's story is an interesting one, because she started out, she won a beauty contest, and from that she was sort of talked into sort of maybe doing some acting work, and she did, she had little roles here and there, and then all of a sudden Paramount Pictures got hold of her, and then the rest is history, as they say. She became one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and even today she holds records for things that no other woman on the planet that's alive still holds today. And she is known as the classic Hollywood cinema. She's one of the golden girls of Hollywood, and it's somebody that I think that we should always remember where she came from, very humble beginnings, but she never lost her ability to be feminine. And I think that's the important thing. So many people you see come and go today in today's society where, instant fame is something happens sort of almost overnight, and particularly with social medias and so forth. But for somebody to sustain such a very long, lengthy relationship with the public and never to really be tarnished, I think we can look no further than Sophia Loren, where she always seemed to have a smile on her face. She was always beautifully groomed, and she epitomises everything that I think women should be striving for, and that's to be a woman. So anyway, moving along, we're going to be working fairly fast today because I want to make sure that we fit in our 2 callers today. So this week we're working with the Simply Tarot candle, and the reasons why I've chosen this one is the fact that I think many of us at different times are working with our intuition. It's something that, whether you read tarot cards or you don't, or you just sort of like to meditate or listen to your own inner voice, things like that, we can all do with setting the scene for us to sort of sit there and meditate or contemplate the things that are going on in our lives. And this was the very, very first candle that we designed here at Amanda Hall Psychic, was the Simply Tarot candle, to complement our Simply Tarot cards that we've been working with on the show earlier. And I personally sort of chose a purple candle because I wanted to bring in the psychic sort of energy, and I wanted everybody to be able to sort of feel comfortable with a colour that was very regal, that was very psychic, but also had a very definite, significant fragrance that would enhance your psychic ability or your meditation, or just anything that you might have been doing in the form of divination. And that's the correct term for anything that you're working with in a psychic realm as far as tools. And this candle is fragranced with vanilla and lavender. It is quite a strong candle, but it also has a scent that I think fills your home or your office with such a lovely, calming sort of energy that we all relate to. It's not foreign. It's something that's familiar. It's something that makes us feel secure in ourselves. So when we're working with the Simply Tarot candle, you don't have to be, reading tarot cards. You can just have it burning in the background just because you like it. But I like to burn my candle for about 15 minutes to 2 hours a day. I quite often burn this when I'm working psychically because I feel it sets the mood for that sort of work. So for those of you that might not want an extra large candle, we do make a gift box set. And this week I'm going to feature 3 different candles because I want to show you that you don't have to have just 3 of the same. So I've made this gift box set up with Good Luck, the Simply Tarot candle, and a love candle, just to show you that any combination is possible from the 28 in our range. Now, our little mini candles here, they'll burn for about 15 hours, and they're a good travel size, or you can split the pack up and give them away as individual little gifts. The choice is yours, and we get really busy as we head towards this holiday season because lots of people buy these sets to give away as little gifts over the holiday season. Now, for those of you that don't want to work with a candle, but you want to work with the energy of a candle, but you say to me that, look, a candle's, not exactly the safest thing that I can be working with, you can purchase one of these melt warmers from your local department store or supermarket. They are fairly inexpensive. This is an electric version. I take 2 teaspoons of the soy wax out of that at the beginning of the week, and then I add half a teaspoon a day. So if you're writing a list of your intent, purpose and direction and things that you want to put on your wish list or things you might be releasing, you can pop this underneath your melt warmer as you do your candle, always placing things on a coaster so that we've never directly got it going on furniture. But this is very safe to have around children and pets as well, and it's something you don't have to babysit. I tend to sit with my candle when it's burning purely for safety reasons. So that's just a little insight into our lovely world of soy candles here at Amanda Hall Psychic, and we're going to take our very first caller, which is Mary Jo in Cynthia, Kentucky, USA. Are you there, Mary Jo?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Well, thank you, sweetie. Do you have a question I can work with?
Yes, I would like to see if we could contact my mother, Bernice.
Mary Jo, I always say to everybody each week on the show, there's no definite guarantees that we can connect with your mother because that's who you want to connect with on the other side. Unfortunately, I don't have a direct link. But what I can suggest to you is if you give me a direct question to work with, if your mum wants to interrupt and come through with a message, she will do so. That's the way I like to work. So do you have a question I can work with?
I'd like to know why
that's confusing.
I'm sorry?
I said, is there an area of your life that you need some more clarity on?
Yes, it took her 8 days to die, and she was trying to tell us something.
Right.
But we don't know what.
Okay. Again, you're asking me to try and tap into her on the other side, and I've explained to you that's not necessarily something I can do in this short space of time. It's up to her if she wants to make contact, and sometimes they don't want to make contact in such a public forum. I appreciate that, you and the family feel that there was something that she wanted to communicate with you and was unable to do so.
Okay, so
she's not giving.
Can you just?
Is there another area of your life though that, other than your mum's passing, that's concerning you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm very unhappy, and I would just like to know: will things change? Is my future going to change?
Okay, all right. Let's go into that. The first thing that I'm picking up there is there's definitely a lot of doors slamming shut. So to me, that's a number of endings, changes and transformations happening now, Mary Jo. It's almost like that you feel like you're at the end of your tether. It's like I can't deal with much more of this. I feel like I've got nothing left in the reserve tank to keep fighting with. Now, it's interesting because I feel that's how your mum felt at the end, like there was nothing more she could give to try and hang on. You know, she kept showing me a rope, and it was like she was at the end of the rope. There was nothing more in her reserve tank to keep fighting. Now, what she's sort of sharing with me now, all as she wanted to try and say to you at that time was that I can't do this anymore. I've had enough. This is as far as I can go. There's nothing left in me to fight with. Please understand that. It's not that I want to leave you. It's just I've got nothing left to fight with. Now, that's not being disrespectful, and that's not saying she wanted to leave the family. It's just that's the message that she was trying to get through, that she just didn't have anything left in her to continue to put up this fight. I don't think she was ready to go. Yeah, I just don't think she was ready to go. She felt cheated. Would you say that's a fair assumption of the situation?
Yeah, she was tired.
I know she was tired, but she also sort of felt she wasn't ready to go yet, but yet there was no energy left to fight this departure.
Yeah, she raised 10 kids by herself with no help. She was tired.
Right, that makes sense. Well, she's telling me now. Go on.
She told us that she wasn't going to make it through the surgery, and
right,
you know, a year ahead of time.
No. Okay, but I think right at the end she was still fighting to try and, keep going because she wasn't ready to go yet. But there was nothing left in her fuel tank to fight with. And what she's sort of saying to me now, even though you feel like there's nothing left in your fuel tank to fight with, there is. It's not your turn to sort of to leave the planet yet. But she's also showing me from next month, as early as next month, things are going to start to turn around for you. There's a lot of things that you're going to have to look forward to in this next 12 months, where everything has always been such a struggle for you, Mary Jo. Things are now going to start to ease off. Things are going to start to come towards you easily. And she's showing me a very, very big pink heart. So the only way I can interpret that is that there must be a lot of love coming into your life, love like you've never experienced before. So is there no one special or significant around you at the moment?
Yes, I have a husband, but it's like he had prostate cancer 13 years ago, and so it's like we're just two people living in the same house. Mm-hmm. We love each other, and we tell each other we love each other, but there's no affection, and Mommy always showed affection. Mm-hmm. Even though she had 10 kids, she was like an octopus. She always had her hand on us, stroking our hair or rubbing our back, or you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So,
yeah.
So I'm just so alone. I feel alone all the time.
She's showing me that you're not going to be alone in whatever way this pink heart manifests itself. And it's not just her, hugging you from the other side. She's physically showing me this heart is bigger than I've ever seen anything this big before. And as far as, showing somebody that there's love and affection and attention coming towards them. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean, that you're getting rid of your husband and you're bringing in someone new. I think there's going to be love shown to you and affection shown to you in other ways that will fill that void. But she's also sort of showing me that there's letters or communication or something of an official nature coming towards you that is going to bring a smile to your face. So I'm not sure whether you're waiting on an answer or something official, something government, but she's showing me that you're going to be very happy with what's in this letter. Is there something there that you've been waiting on?
No, not that I know of. I've just been waiting on my husband to get the. I've just been waiting on my husband to get the energy to want to live and do things. We have 4 grown kids and 19 grandkids, and so And we've never even had a honeymoon yet.
Right. Well, that'd be nice if you got the opportunity to have a honeymoon, wouldn't it?
Yeah, after 38 years.
Well, I suppose that would fit into the category of this giant-sized, oversized heart if you got that opportunity to take a honeymoon. I'm not sure what your mum means by that, but I know she's smiling down from above and she keeps sharing with me that there's some really beautiful surprises to come towards you in this next 12 months, and you will feel loved and you will feel as if your life is finally starting to move forward. And she's showing me that, you know, your spirit is going to be uplifted. So for that to happen, there has to be some positive things changing in your life to make you feel this way, Mary Jo.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope it's my husband feeling better. And
I'm sure that's going to happen, sweetie. That's where we're going to have to leave it.
He's the only one that can fulfill it as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't saying that there was a new partner coming. She was just sharing with me that you were going to have this opportunity for a lot of love and affection in the next 12 months, and it's going to make your heart very full.
He said when the last one turned 18, it'd be our turn.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to be 36.
Right.
So it's not been our turn yet.
No, but it will be your turn. Anyway, that's where we've got to leave it, Mary Jo. I'm going to take our next caller, which is Lila in Vernon, British Columbia. Are you there, sweetie? Isla, are you there, Isla? Oh, well, I'm sure we'll have Isla in a moment or two. I'll just keep talking until Isla comes to the phone. So, you know, it's been an interesting week astrologically. I'm sure most of you have had a fairly busy time with, you know, Leo dancing through all of our lives with all the planetary configurations. But make sure that you keep your patience hat on this week too, as people sort of try and take centre stage. You know, we can't all be on the stage together and be in the limelight. We've got to share the stage with other people and allow them to have a turn as well. So it's a very interesting time ahead of us, and maybe Isla is now with us. No, not so far. Okay, so we'll keep talking about, she's there?
No.
Are you there, Isla?
Yes, I am.
Do you have a question I can work with, sweetie? Yeah, do you have a question I can work with, please, sweetie?
I just want to know the direction I'm going, because I'm either going to retire or leave the job I'm currently in.
Okay. First thing that they're showing me is the symbol for change. So I'm taking from that there is a big decision to be made. I don't feel that you're going to stay in this current job, but I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready to retire yet either. I'm sort of seeing the opportunity to sort of take another job coming up towards late November, early December this year, and it's like a really big decision at whether you go that direction or do you stay where you are. But I feel that you already know the answer to that, is that where you are now is not fulfilling you. It doesn't excite you. You don't get out of bed and say, great, I'm going to work today. You sort of feel as if the energy around that job is slowly starting to come to a close. The next job, I feel, is a little bit closer to home, but I also sort of feel that you're working with much more in a positive sort of way. The people that you're working with have got a much more positive attitude. You really enjoy going to work. I don't think you're ready to retire yet. Not by a long shot. I feel the next couple of years there's going to be so many different opportunities and activities that are coming into your life that you almost feel like you're 20 again. It's a real resurgence of energy, which is a good thing. I don't feel that's necessarily a bad thing. But the other question I would put towards you, Isla, were you making changes to the home that you're living in or questioning about whether or not it was time to move? Is that something that's been going through your mind?
Yes, I am in the process of moving right now.
You're in the process of moving?
Yes, to another town.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, that's good because I could see this, thinking about moving and all those sort of things. I just think the next couple of years are going to be very exciting. I don't think that you're slowing down by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, I think you're going to your life's going to be fuller and busier and, as you open yourself up to new ideas and new people, and it just feels very exciting. So have you been working very consciously this year on your health, like sort of making changes to the way that you approach your life?
That's what I will be doing this coming year because my daughter had a brain injury and I've been a caretaker. So that's what it's about me.
But in that time, did you sort of look at your own lifestyle and the way that you were managing your own health? Because you've had time to be able to look at that or think about it?
Yes, I have.
Well, that's good because what they were showing me, whatever decisions or whatever changes or choices that you've made pertaining to your own personal health, they were showing me keep it up, keep going because you are on the right path. Even though the results or the rewards from that might have seemed slow, we are getting them. They are happening. So keep going with that because I actually feel your energy levels are starting to come back to you and it's sort of like everything in your body is now coming into balance. I think you've had a very stressful life in lots of ways where you've never really had the time to be able to stop and catch your breath. And, even though this has been a hectic year too with family commitments and whatever, it's been a different sort of hectic where you've been able to catch your breath a little bit in pockets of this year. So this is good because we've been finally able to, I think, release a lot of things that you've gathered over the years that you've held on to. I'll deal with that tomorrow or next week. Well, we've been able to deal with that and release it. And this is why your mind, body and soul, I believe, is coming back into balance.
That's so true.
And that's a good thing because I feel that that's very, very necessary for you to be able to do that. And it's going to be important for you moving forward into the next, 2 years of your life with a lot more gusto and determination and really fulfilling and living your life to the fullest. And it's amazing. I feel very excited for you.
Me too, and thank you.
You're very, very welcome, but it's lovely to talk to you, Isla. It's always interesting when I think as individuals that we start on a different path where we start looking at our health because we've got to a certain age and we've got a few creaky bones and things aren't functioning the way that we want to, or whether we just have the time to catch our breath and look at maybe some of the things that we've never had time to process or deal with before. So it's been an interesting 2019 where a lot of people that I've worked with around the world have been actually looking at trying to de-stress their lives and bring their lives more into balance. So if you haven't caught up with the rest of us doing that yet, maybe that's something that you need to be approaching and looking at as we head towards the end of 2019 and get ready for 2020, which has got a nice ring to it, I might say. So wherever you are in this amazing planet of ours, enjoy this next week. Make sure that you share the stage and the limelight with someone else. You can't hog it all just to yourself just because you think you're the most important person in your universe. There's always other people that are surrounding us and are important to us that also need to be acknowledged and given the opportunity to share the stage with us. So until next week, I hope the stage is big enough for all of you. Bye for now.
Olson. Thank you for listening to A1R Radio. Welcome to Insights into Consciousness. My website at the bottom of the screen, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com. You can see me on iHeartRadio, Spotify. You just search for Insights into Consciousness, Anna Olson, A1R. Any of those will work. It's the number one R. And I wanted to go over something that I'm really excited about. There's some news today that I wanted to give everybody, and that is that HBO, and we don't have a time frame yet. We don't have an exact date, which is kind of unfortunate, but there's a new HBO prequel to Practical Magic coming out. It's a 1-hour drama series based on Alice Hoffman's own prequel of the same name. So she did the book Practical Magic, and then she went on to do a prequel, which is going to be really fun to catch. I'm hoping it's good, and they don't have an exact time frame, but I'm willing to go in and get on to HBO just to see if I can watch this and see if I like it. So that's really, really exciting for me. And I know that a lot of other people have been really excited about that. Also, the moon is in Virgo now. So we're going to talk about the planets just a little bit, that the planets, there's going to be some other planets that are going to follow too. I don't go into too much detail on it because then it would take up the whole show to do all of that. So there's going to be a lot of planets in Virgo that's, as a Virgo, I was going to what are my traits? Well, one of them is that, there's a lot of attention to details. So this might be a good idea to go in and organize, or maybe kind of look at what it is you really want to focus on and get clear about your intentions, because this is a time about clarity and kind of perfecting and getting into the detail of what it is that you want to manifest, or what it is exactly that you would like to really bring into your life and attract to your space, to your energy, and to your surroundings. So this is something that we get to focus on because we're all going to be dealing with those Virgo traits pretty soon with the planetary alignments and the moon currently. So that's the moon right now and the planets. I wanted to also go over something that I just recently taught a student that I'm teaching one-on-one, and that is tea leaf readings. So tea leaf readings, it's surprising to me how many people are not aware of tea leaf readings, that they exist, or the history behind them, how to do them. I did one with my student. It was a lot of fun. We took some pictures and we followed a couple of diagrams to see if those resonated with us. You can go online and see if there are diagrams that you can really align with that make sense to you. So in addition, the way you start a tea leaf reading, and these were done back in Europe, way back in the day. So you grab some loose tea and you put it in, your hot water. You let it steep for a bit. You're going to have the person who's getting the reading done drink it, and leave about a tablespoon of that tea in the bottom where all the loose tea is. You're going to grab the saucer. So you're going to need a cup and a saucer. The bigger the cup, the better. And you just put the saucer on top of the cup, turn it over so that everything falls out into the saucer, turn the cup over and look into the cup. Now, these loose tea leaves, what they do are these little segments and these little pieces of this tea leaf will land at different parts of the cup, adjacent to where the handle of the cup is. So you'll be holding it, and when you look down into the cup, there's going to be a lot of different diagrams. You use your intuition. You see what it is that you see in the cup. Now, you can see, the last time I saw distinctly a fairy, it looked just like a fairy. This little tea leaf kind of curled up into a shape, looked just like a fairy on the end of a flower stem, a stem that went straight into a flower and a fairy on the flower. It was huge. I took pictures of it. It was very clear to both of us. So I wrote it down, and then I showed her and I said, what did you see? I didn't tell her what I saw. And I didn't let her see what I wrote down on my paper. She said, oh my gosh, I see a fairy on a flower on a stem. So you'll notice when you're doing a reading that two people will oftentimes get the exact same thing, and they'll see the exact same things. So when I've done readings like this and I've waited for the person to tell me what they saw, I already had in mind what I saw, and it matched what they saw. So intuition is intuition. Spirit is spirit. Spirit will give us the same message. It continues through readers over years. It's truth is truth, and the accurate, true information through readings and through spirit is always accurate, always true, and always the same. Especially when everybody present is on the same frequency, vibe, level of positivity. So the really cool thing about tea leaf readings, the history behind them. Now, back in the day, centuries ago, many practitioners couldn't do readings because they'd be burned at the stake. They'd have to do these incognito. So what they would do is they would go to a public place to have tea. And the reader would meet with the client and would do a full tea leaf reading, looking like they were, just out in public having a cup of tea. So this originated kind of in Britain, Europe areas where they still do a whole lot of tea time, and they, will sit together and sip on their tea. So even like if their husbands came home, or someone's husband came home, or their children came home, or the parents walked into the home, they'd be just sitting at the table having their tea. Now, when we go back into time, there's a lot of different ways that people did other readings to stay incognito as well. Loose tea leaf readings are just one of those many types. So there's diagrams that will show you what means what in the cup. So the very bottom round part of the cup will mean, like the distant future, or the meaning of the entire reading, or kind of like the whole synapse of the reading will be the very, very bottom of the cup. The next level up, like if you were to imagine the cup having liquid at the bottom and filling it up to like the first 1/3 of the cup, that would be the distant future. If you filled it up to the next 1/3 of the layer of the cup with liquid, then that whole layer that liquid would also take up, the next 1/3 of the cup. Right along the middle would be the near future, and then the very top layer just before the lip of the cup would be the nearest future, or the next week or two, that again weeks, and then the very, very top is the present. So then around the handle part, dipping all the way down to the bottom of the cup, you would have different meanings to where the leaves fall there. It's all put in exactly the right place. And of course, everybody likes to use different diagrams, because when we do readings, readers are all very unique, and we find what works for us. So we may even mix this with something, like a card, or you could mix this reading with, card reading tarot. You could do angel tarot. You could do oracle cards, anything that you feel drawn to. But basically, the loose tea leaf reading is the most rare. It's not what most readers do. The people who do them are kind of special and unique, and most of the time they will have a visual or photogenic memory, because they really need to see things visually, and they learn best or read best with pictures or things that are visual that way. So it's a really fun way to have a reading. If you ever come across, a place or somebody who does them, it might be kind of fun to have it done, because you can see how they can look at the tea leaves and how they create different shapes. Sometimes like dashes will mean one thing, or a spiral will mean something else. And something that looks like an airplane may mean travel, for instance. So everything means something with the tea leaves. And it's a really fun way to get a reading, and sometimes even practice yourself. If you wanted to, meditate and ground and really shield and protect and clear your mind and have a cup of tea and look in your teacup and see what you can find. It can be kind of fun just to practice and see what you get. It's fun either way. So on to what I want to do today. I'd like to do a universal reading. And what that is it's a reading where I take out the cards and I will start doing a reading for the universal consciousness. I am in California. However, the universal readings account for everyone. We are all affected by, as the world, a planet. If you think of the planet as a homeopathic entity. And if you think of the world as perhaps having its own spirit or its body and spirit as well, we would be part of its body in a way where we work together and we make up what the world is made of. In a way that we all have a purpose to drive the earth. So we all must have a singular consciousness, a universal consciousness that is tied together. So we can go into a lot of studies and a lot of experiences with people where they have realized that when something happens that is a crisis in the world, that many people, especially the empaths around the world, will feel it before they even get the news brief. So we are all connected. We all have the same connection to the same source and the same, God had the same spirit. And yes, we can connect and disconnect at will, but basically a reading for universal consciousness or purpose will be for anyone. So I'm basically doing a reading on my viewers as well. And if it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. You're on another frequency. If it does resonate with you, then that part of the reading is for you. So I just get what I hear, what I have coming through, and what I see. And I do use the cards because it's a nice visual cue for me to focus on, just to kind of aid in not being distracted, like squirrel. So that's my way of, the cards really help me to focus and to meditate on the message being received through spirit. Now I'm shuffling now and I'm just asking the guides and angels what it is in spirit, what it is that we need right now is universal consciousness. And the first thing that I'm getting is that we'll do mind, body, and spirit. So I will draw a card that will represent the mind, our minds, and what's going on with our consciousness, with what we're thinking. What are your thoughts? What are those thoughts doing? What is the purpose for those thoughts? Thoughts are very powerful, and all creation begins with a thought and the power of the word, because most thoughts also include words. And words are the basis of many, many creations, including the beginning, if you go back in the Bible, the beginning of the world, the beginning of the entire world, and all of the atmosphere and the water was the power of the word. So the thing that I am looking at here is the moon. So I'm getting the number 18. And I'm getting the moon. So it's basically a card depicting that masculinity is going to be taking a front seat right now in a way of logistics and order. Now it's going to, now I'm seeing the moon and I'm seeing this logistics and this masculine energy sort of surrounding the moon and keeping it in its place. That, really what I'm getting is that in the mind, the feminine energy, and we as women, we do better working with men peacefully, with allowing their logical mind, their ways of doing things to come into our world and to really take it seriously and to consider what men are saying in our lives. So when we have all these wonderful men in our lives who are putting in their 2 cents, or they want to give an opinion, or, when we have something that we're dealing with and we just want to vent, well, what if there's something they can suggest that will actually make our situation better? There's so much in psychology that goes towards, well, women just want to vent and talk about something emotional and be emotional for a while, and that's fine, but can't we too also, after we vent, ask them what they think and what they would do, and then actually take it seriously and do it? I don't see anything wrong with that. I see everything right with that. And that's what I'm seeing here, with things being so driven by women just acting emotionally, which is definitely half of the whole. But we have 2 halves to this whole. Half of that is the masculinity, and I know that right now we have a president that is a little bit strong-minded, to say the least. He is very opinionated. He has done and said some things that make women feel unsafe. But we have to remember that we do need the good men, and we need the men who are on our side, and the men who are trying to help, who love us, who are defending their families, and who have a lot to contribute. And we need to accept what they contribute, and we need to take it seriously and love them and be gentle and kind to them. And if, we're having a bad day, say, I'm having a bad day. This has nothing to do with you, because men internalize. And when the male higher consciousness internalizes too much and is overwhelmed, what happens is the planet gets sick and our men check out. We need that masculine balancing energy to balance out the feminine. It's good to have the feminine, yes, but it's also good to have the masculine in balance. This doesn't mean let them rule your life or take over your life or abuse you. I would never say that. But at the same time, we need to be careful about how we're making men feel, and to really, really pay attention to what's going on with them and to allow them to do their part. I'm going to give a brief description of this card, the moon card, and I'm going to show it on screen, because I know that some people are just listening to the show as well, not seeing the screen. But it is a moon. It's a picture of a moon with a rather mechanical device around it, with something that looks basically like a clock attached to it, and it has different little keys attached to that. There is a crab that probably would represent Cancer, 2 wolves, masculine and feminine is in balance here, but there's definitely more of the masculine energy involved. So yes, it's depicting basically the moon, but this is what I'm seeing as a masculine energy. And I'm going to just hold up this card so that viewers can see the card. You have the moon, and then you have all of these more logic. I see these other items on the card as being very masculine, and the timing, the science, all the mechanics. If you think about men working under the hood or having their tool sets and things like that, not that women don't, but that is a masculine energy thing. So even when women do it, that's a masculine energy. So for mind, I'm definitely getting the balance of the masculine and feminine. Don't let masculinity scare you. Don't let masculinity piss you off. Don't let masculinity, we have to work together, and we have to, whether it's a woman with masculine energy or it's a man in your life, but I'm getting this is much more men, sons, making sure they feel respected, heard, making sure that, we nurture them. I'm really getting that it's important for us to make sure that we nurture them. Our issues as women, it doesn't mean that it's every man. And that if we've been hurt by men, we need to understand their energy more. So I think it's better to seek to understand them and the masculine energy more than to reject or block it and act or pretend as though we don't need it. We do. We all need it. The earth needs it. The universe needs it, both masculine and feminine. I'm seeing a little bit of a tip towards the feminine a little more right now, and that can be messy. It does throw things off. So think of the sun and the moon and how they work together. The moon is the female or the feminine. The sun is the masculine. We need both. The moon does not shine without the masculine energy of the sun. It does not work. It has to be both, and it has to be a balance, or things go wrong. Women need the protection of the masculine. It's a fact. So that's what I wanted to reiterate about the moon and the masculinity. So the second will be body. Now, this is really a wonderful card that I got for the body. I got the Lovers, and this just came up. I didn't pick it myself. I didn't look at it and pull it out. It is what I pulled. Now, the number for this is 6. So when we have the card for the Lovers, again, I'm seeing the masculine and feminine needing to connect. This doesn't mean like absolutely you have to have male-female relationship. I'm talking about masculinity and femininity in whatever human being it just happens to reside in. So it could be male-male, could be female-female, could be female-male. It could be masculine-female with a feminine male. It doesn't have to look a certain way that way, but I do feel, again, that this is depicting that the body, we need to respect that each sex has, I guess this is all about men and women in relationships. I know that I'm just going to like talk about how I just spoke with my mother about her clients, how she's realizing during her trainings. She's a therapist. She's a therapist in psychology, so she counsels people. And she was telling me that she went to her continuing education credit classes and things like that. And the new research is showing a very low, in the 20s, success rate of marriages currently in the United States. So originally we thought it was 75, then we thought it was 50, and now it's looking to be more like it's in the 20s, 23, 28 was what I think I remember her saying. I know it was in the 20s, but she thought it was not correct because it was so low, that these marriages are succeeding at a 23 to 28% level of success. And the 50% only represented the people who were legally married, not the people who were still legally married but separated. So we're looking at a big discord in marriages, and with people being able to cohabitate and to get along. I'm seeing that we, with the body, we need to be respectful of the other person's space. So men need to not be controlled. Women need to be respected, revered, cherished, and loved. And, women need to hear a lot of compliments about not just their appearance, but what they can do and what you appreciate about them. And, I feel like we really need to respect the differences of men and women, masculine and feminine energy, that they're not the same. It's like living with an alien, and we have to accept that. We just have to cohabitate and really try to work through these differences, because what happens when we don't work through our differences, we don't learn anything. And then life gets harder, and then it's more uncomfortable. It could be more comfortable in the interim. And of course, this isn't including abusive relationships or something. I mean, if somebody is being violent, of course, that's a different story. This is more about healthier relationships with some discord on things, with things that can be worked out. I'm oftentimes surprised in my readings when I'm talking to people at what they don't want to put up with or work out with someone, something that is easily worked out with some work, some just allowing things to change or allowing things to go their way, the other person's way for a bit. When I hear somebody complaining about, they left their whatever I'm like, really? We're going to worry about this? So, there's bigger fish to fry. There are other things for us to worry about. We need to grow up in our relationships. We need to be more basically drawn towards what's really important in life. What if this person wasn't here tomorrow? What would we do and say today to make their life good? What would we do and say today to have no regrets with this person? I'm going to do a close up real quick of the lovers. I have like 4 minutes left. So there's this card. This is the body. We need to be able to cohabitate with the person. There's a male and a female on the front, and it's actually really beautiful. It looks more Roman, maybe Babylonian. There's a beautiful moon. There's a couple kind of in the water, and it's pretty gorgeous. So that's depicting the body. Now, for spirit, I'm going to pull one more card, and then I will conclude this reading for universal. I'm getting the cups, the 5 of cups. So the 5 of cups for spirit, this looks like a man praying. He's got his hands in the prayer position, and he looks like a knight in armor. There's cups all around him. Some are full, some are empty and on the ground. So it seems to depict to me that he is losing his resources, and he only has a little bit to go, and he's praying for answers. So I think with a lot of our issues, it's good to ask for guidance. What is your deity? What is your way of worshiping? Do you pray to God? Do you pray to the angels? Whatever it is, to ask for guidance from spirit. That this is very important for us spiritually, to go ahead and ask for that guidance. We don't have all the answers. We are running out of resources in a lot of ways. I see a lot of soldiers out fighting in the field. I see this as being, some of our soldiers are mothers trying to raise a child by herself, or some of our soldiers in this country or this world or whatever country you're in are soldiers who are just trying to get a job to feed their family. So really think about what it is that you need guidance for, that you don't know what in the hell you're doing about. If you don't know what you're doing, ask for guidance spiritually. If you are hurting spiritually, you ask for guidance. You pray. This is the front of the card. There's the man. It looks like a knight in armor praying. And some cups are full in the back. Most of them are empty and on the ground. So he's looking like he's really, really praying hard for an answer. That's the conclusion of this reading. I wanted to also go into the fact that I have classes that I can teach one-on-one, and I am running a special right now. You can go to my website. It's at the bottom of the screen, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com, or you can reach me on Facebook, Anna Olson Intuitive. So I'm so glad that you listened to me today. Go ahead and email me. You can contact me on my website page or on Facebook with any questions. And I just really hope that I can hear from as many people as possible. I also wanted to go into the fact that I definitely do Reiki. I do readings. I also do medical readings. I've been doing those, and those have been going really well. I'm going to conclude my show tonight, and I just hope everybody has a wonderful week. I will see you next time.